Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions concerning this watch. And this watch was a 2023 launch from Chopard. This is the Alpine Eagle XL Chronograph Maritime Blue. Chopard known for doing things a little bit differently, high horology, but always with a sense of joy and fun and a willingness to experiment technically and aesthetically. And this watch is that to a T. Not only do we have that classical, deeply grooved Alpine Eagle dial texture, but we have it in a dial color better described as electrifying blue or electric blue than maritime blue. I've seen this color referred to over the years as ion blue, if you can remember the old Omega Seamaster electric blue dials. It's like that, but with a more complex texture and reflective quality because of the specific details of the dial topography. So the watch is bigger than a standard Alpine Eagle, 44 millimeters in diameter and lucent 225 steel. It's 13.3 millimeters thick, so probably not as thick as it looks, and then 51.5 from lug tip to lug tip. The watch is substantial, and I know some will ask, so let's just pull in Sammy the scale and get an accurate measurement. And as you can see here, that's quite a bit, to be honest, well over 143 grams, even with the tag removed. It'll be about 143.57 with the tag removed. So that's a weighty watch. Now we'll throw it on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters circumference. Appreciate here that we have a fully integrated factory rubber strap that looks fantastic and carries Chopard branding on it. We'll throw it on my wrist, 16 centimeters in circumference. It's big, but it's not too big. I'd say if your wrist is my size or larger, you can wear this. If your wrist is smaller, then you're probably gonna wanna go with a standard Alpine Eagle 41, which I believe also has been made in maritime blue. So if you can find it, it's definitely out there. And the watch is thinner than you think, though it looks blocky, and it is sheer in profile, 13.3, plus the fact that it actually slides down a little bit lower on the wrist once buckled. This is actually going to clear quite a few cuffs, and then you can see down the barrel, my clearance is minimal at this wrist size. I'm maxed out. Still viable, but maxed out. Taking a look at how all this comes together, you can see that we've got a case back whereby the strap is fixed to the case using a fixing screw, and then there are these lateral pivot bars that run side to side. Taking a look, we don't see a whole lot of straps that feature a distinct shoulder molding pattern, but this one has it. You can see that it is model specific. Taking a look at the top, you can see we extend the character line of the lug hood down to the buckle, and the buckle is a combination of polished bevels and satin finish. And you can see it's a multi-piece affair held together by screws. So an interesting buckle, but still just a buckle. Simple to adjust on the fly. The watch features a screw-down crown, which you can see features a sort of compass rose pattern on it. And once screwed down entirely, the watch is 100 meters water resistant, so swim without fear. We'll do a lume shot now, because this is a sports watch, and it's got no shortage of luminescence. The lucent 225 steel is said to be approximately 10 to 15% harder than conventional 316 or 904L steel. So this particular steel, although not visibly distinct, is said to be a little bit more scratch resistant. Now we have quite a few facets, creases, curves, satin, and polished aspects here, so it is fairly nuanced. It's more complex in terms of its assembly and decoration than, say, an Aquanaut, more comparable to a Cubitus or a Nautilus in that regard. Now taking a look at the top, you can see that we've got these bolts that sit inside the bezel, and they are bolts, otherwise they couldn't be aligned this way. The watch features a dial, we'll get super close now, that's got quite a few details. The ones you don't expect, little splashes of orange on the tachymetric scale, which is used with the chronograph seconds to gauge speed, but then also on the chronograph seconds hand as well as the sub-registers. And if you look very closely, they seem to have opted for a lollipop index look on the chronograph hours and minutes, reminiscent of a Paul Newman Singer dial Daytona. So that's a fascinating take. We also have azurage or concentric patterns, and all of these sub-registers are stepped downward. We have a Reho outboard that acts as the tachymetric scale. You can see it slopes upward like a flange. And because this is a sports watch, it features flyback capability. So if you need to time things that occur in rapid succession, reset and restart without first stopping. You can see here that the date disc is the same color as the dial. We'll go through some of the other features of this movement. As you can see, we've got a hacking or stop seconds function. We have a quick set date. And if you look, that 1.8 and that 1.8, they've done everything possible to match the font across the dial. If you look at that 9, and you look at that 9, and you look at that 3, and you look at that 3, they've done a good job of matching that typeface and font style, and that's not something every watch brand gets right. So a few things about this movement. It's an in-house caliber. It's the 03.05-C, 5-position adjusted, COSC chronometer certified, 45 joules, 4 hertz beat rate, column wheel chronograph for crisp action with vertical clutch, and a relatively industrial but attractive aesthetic. It also uses KIF shock protection, which is sort of a boutique-y, upscale, lower volume alternative to the likes of Inca Block. The watch features a 60-hour automatic winding power reserve, and you can see that the center of the rotor includes a polished screw media blast and then solarization outboard. There you can see the column wheel, which is made visible. And it's a fairly large movement, so it effectively fills this case back. Now, I can tell you the column wheel feel here is among the best I've ever encountered. Truly superb. The vertical clutch allows for engagement without any stagger or jump of the seconds hand. It also allows for precise resetting to 0, which can be a problem with lateral clutches, and it allows you to run your chronograph full-time without any additional hazard or wear or tear to the watch. One of my favorite features here is the counterweight, which is faceted and polished for chronograph seconds. And again, because of the vertical clutch, you can leave your chronograph running full-time without any additional wear or tear. This is a watch that offers an awful lot, and frankly, I'd prefer it to a Royal Oak chronograph or a 5980. So reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.